Hi, everyone. It's Steve, and I'm here today with Ollie.
Hello.
And Rhino's in the back.
Hello.
And we're here going to talk about our 3 favorite attractions. We haven't told each other what they are, so it will come as a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
And so, who wants to start?
I'll go first.
Ooh, okay.
I'm yelling. I'm sorry. Okay, so my number 3 favorite attraction. This was a tough one. We said it was all of World.
Okay.
I said Carousel of Progress.
That would have been my probably honorable mention. I almost, before we started the show, remember how I said I have to change my list?
Yep.
I almost changed that out. I'm kind of happy that I didn't, so we have a little bit of a different list. But yeah, that's a good one. It's a classic.
It's I'll try to think like what's something that every time I go, whenever I'm in a certain park, like it's something that I just enjoy and it feels Disney to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I love the song.
No line. There's never a line.
Yeah.
One. That's a huge reason why
That's
it's
why
good.
I put my number 3 where it is.
There's also, it's like connected to the history. So it's been in the New York World's Fair, it's been in Disneyland, and it's been in Disney World.
It's got a rich Disney history.
Yeah, so that's a huge plus.
That's true.
For that.
It's a Walt original.
What about you, Oliver?
Me, well, it's really funny you should say the Carousel of Progress almost forgot. Because I put the PeopleMover and I was very, very close to putting the Carousel of Progress.
That probably would have been my honorable mention. So, yeah.
Nice to know we're all on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
I put my
We're all lame.
PeopleMover down there. What was that?
Said we're all lame.
Yeah, pretty much. I put the PeopleMover down because some of the same reasons. There's never a line, you know?
And you're wearing the shirt.
I know, yeah. It does feel appropriate. So, yes.
The PeopleMover shirt. That's good.
Where did you get that shirt?
What happened was this morning when I got out of bed, I kind of rolled into the closet, and then whatever stuck sat, and it turns out this wasn't mine. This was Spencer's. And that's why it's on. So, that's how I came to wear my shirt.
I just changed one of mine.
Ooh, in the process.
Yeah.
Tactical.
Well, my number 3, because I wanted to make it my shirt.
Oh, hold on. Let me get wider. There
The
you go.
Hall of Presidents.
Yes.
I love the Hall of Presidents. I was a political science major.
A political science major.
Political science major. No, as a political science major, I just love it. I love the part when what's his name? The
President George Washington.
The host. What's the host name?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Morgan Freeman?
Yes,
Morgan Freeman.
When he goes, he talks about when presidents say what we already think in our hearts. I always get goosebumps.
Oh,
Do it in his voice.
Oh, I feel like that's...
I can't even pretend to. Morgan Freeman. I can't do it.
I'm Morgan Freeman.
That's a really good one. That's really good.
That's a good. Oh God, we're gonna use you for voiceovers for sure. He thought about his sandwich. You know what I'm gonna say right there about our top 3? All of our grandparents could come with us on all of these rides,
True.
and they'd be super happy about our choices.
Also,
Yes.
I have a claim to fame with the Hall of Presidents. As I'm told, during my college program in 2013, there was a cast member meeting for coordinators or something like that in the theater, and they were showing them a video of all these different cast members, and apparently I was there was a picture of me projected on the screen of Hall of Presidents.
Oh,
Cool, right?
Attraction. Okay, if we're gonna deviate real quick, I know you said that about that. I was in the American Idol commercial.
Ooh,
that attraction.
Really?
The one that went out to
Yeah.
Whoa.
The one. So if you noticed the person doing this, the best hands in that, those are mine.
There you go.
You're a hand model.
Oh yeah. I don't. Yes, I am.
You noticed how all 3 attractions, they're really lengthy. We've
Yeah.
all picked a very...
Well, I also
each
think-
attraction's got...
Yeah, I also think that plays into the fact that we are local, so we like rides that
Are more relaxing.
are
Yeah.
relaxing.
Yeah.
You can kind of just you're not in a rush to get to the next thing or anything. So I think that's another reason.
Yeah, especially with the Hall of Presidents, they have got the comfiest seats out of
Yeah.
any of the sit-down
Yeah,
attractions,
and
any
it's
of the
nice and-
shows
nice
in
and
the...
cool
yeah,
in there
it
in
really
the
is.
summertime.
Plus, who doesn't love the animatronic?
Yeah,
You know, I like anything that has animatronics.
I was in the other day. Sorry to sidetrack, but I feel like this is an interesting sidetrack. I was in the air the other
We'll
day.
be the judge of that.
And people were clapping and cheering for the presidents that they liked, and I was like, that's not part of this.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so like it was weird. People were like cheering for, and like there was like kind of like sides of the.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very political, and I was like, that's not the point of this, people. Like, stop! You're ruining one of my favorites. But
so who do you want to go? Who's gonna say their number 2?
we go back the other way? So I'll start this time.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 2 is Splash Mountain. I love Splash Mountain. I feel like it's kind of like the quintessential Disney ride in the fact that, you know, it has like the silliness, and it's like a pretty long ride for like a thrill ride. And there's like the different scenes. I don't know. I like it.
I like that it's not just about that hill, not just about the drop, because I didn't go on it for so many years as a kid because I was always I thought it was just a flume ride, up, down, you're done. So when I finally went on that, I was like, oh my god, this thing is huge. There's this huge story being told. I think that's a good one. That's a good pick. Yeah. Except for it's ironic since it's the ride you complain about the most because you're always complaining about getting wet.
I don't like getting wet, but like for most people that are just here on vacation, maybe once a year, not maybe even more or less than that, you know, getting wet once on your vacation is fine. It's just as a local, I don't want to get wet every time I go.
Yeah. All right.
Scares the bejeebies out of me. I
Really?
hate it. Yep.
Really?
I look as a
Is it the
ride.
drop?
I love it. No, it's not that. That's what I love. You know, if you could take out all the creepy animatronic animals talking,
you don't like
singing,
being surrounded by them?
It's something. It just makes me feel really on edge.
When you go to like the laughing place, or not the laughing place, but when you do that first drop and then you're in the dark cavern and they're all around you.
Absolutely
I love
terrifies
that.
me. Hates it. It's almost as much as the Country Bear Jamboree. Now that takes it to the next level. That's the stuff nightmares are made out of. I do not like that at all.
Oh, man.
Like it makes me laugh, but
We have a total different like look on Disney attractions.
Did you have some sort of childhood trauma with an animatronic beast? Like, did you? Not the beast, but a beast.
Not that I can recall.
Like Oprah.
I have to speak
I
to
can't
my
say
mother.
this.
Yeah, I don't know. So that's my number 2. What's your number 2?
Number 2, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ah, good.
So,
Yeah.
Or the Caribbean, as
It's a classic.
my US friends say.
Yeah, I love it. Do you know that ride almost didn't come to Disney World?
What?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
meant to be a Western themed.
Yeah. So
boat ride.
originally,
Garbage.
originally the Pirates of the Caribbean was only going to be in Disneyland, and then in Disney World we were going to get an expansive Big Thunder attraction that was not really Big Thunder. It was called Thunder Mesa or something along that.
Was it like to do with like the town or something?
Yeah,
in
it
the
kind of
story?
like extended the theme of Frontierland. And so it wasn't where Pirates is, obviously. It was like where Big Thunder is. And it was like a big attraction where there was like a waterfall and like a slow train that kind of went around this little canyon. And like, I think a water flume type attraction that wasn't Splash Mountain or themed to that. It was all this frontier theming because they figured that the West Coast people would think that the Florida attractions having the West Coast stuff is cool, and that Disneyland has like the Caribbean, like Florida's kind of close to the Caribbean, so they kind of like thought they would flip-flop. But then Pirates was so successful that people were like, well, how come we're not getting Pirates in Disney World? And that's why Pirates wasn't an opening day attraction.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3 is close. They're similar in my heart level.
I know what it is. Can I say it? If I'm wrong,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Haunted Mansion. Because I just love Haunted Mansion. Like, who doesn't love the Haunted Mansion? You go in, I like the Doom Buggies. I like that it's like a little macabre a little bit, you know, a little darker. I don't want to say humor, but there's a levity in it. But like it's a darker, it tells this story, original story, in that same way that Pirates tells an original story. But it's just got like, I love the cool effects. I love the song. There's just so much about it that just for me, like it's definitely it was close to being my number 1, but I tried to think about like what's one that also excites me when I'm on it.
So, what's your favorite scene in Haunted Mansion?
Ooh, I don't know. You know, I get scared in that graveyard scene.
I love,
he was
this
on-
is no joke. We're on, this is the Disneyland edition, but they're similar enough that it still works. It still applies. But you know the tombstones where the skulls like pop out?
Yeah.
We're on, and Ryno moved like from here to where you're sitting in the dune bug, and I'm like squished up. He jumped so far.
I was like focused on something else in the background.
And then you turned your head, I think, right as the thing came up.
So it's like a perfect moment where I was just like, nobody ever gets scared of these. Whoa! Yeah.
Great.
I think I really like the attic scene a lot.
Yeah, that's my favorite scene.
I think it's just...
You know the story in there, right?
Well, she chopped everybody's head off.
It's all of a
Do you know the five husbands?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you know...
Oh, you actually, you told me this last time, is that she's wearing the pearl necklaces and she's got 5, so it's each husband.
Yeah,
who's
so
given
in
her.
the first picture, she's only wearing 1 pearl necklace. The next one, she's wearing 2. Because every husband, she gets a pearl necklace. And then, she...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I did notice the last time I went on, each husband, like, they progressively get older and...
Oh, I didn't notice that. Do
they're-
you know about the her engagement ring or her... I don't know if it's
No.
her wedding ring or engagement ring. When you're in line, you know the guy in line that, like, is underwater? Like...
He's got like the one leg up out of the tomb.
Yeah. So kind of behind him, it's a really tricky spot, but there's in the pavement is her ring.
Oh.
Yeah. So check it out. See if you can find it.
Nice.
Here comes the big moment. Okay, so I think for this one, we should guess each other's number ones.
Oh, okay. I like that. That's very
okay.
good.
I like that.
So, who's guessing who?
I don't think people will be able to get mine because I just
I'm going to guess Oliver's.
Go.
Stitch.
I'm so sorry, that's not me. No. Mm-mm. Do you want to know what it is?
wait. Let me guess.
Wait,
you
let's
guess.
Steve guess.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Everybody gets a guess.
Space Mountain.
Close. I almost went for Space Mountain, but I did not know.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
okay. Let me give out some. I'll give out some clues.
Yeah,
So it's not in Magic Kingdom,
Oh, I know what it is.
and there is a thrill element to it.
Rock and Roller Coaster.
Almost.
Everest.
No.
Wow. I'm way off.
Tower Terror.
Yes.
There
you go.
You know how I said I had Hall of Presidents and then I changed it because I got rid of Tower Terror.
Why would you get rid of Tower of
What is it about Tower Terror? I hate Tower Terror.
Why?
Well, okay. I've been on it. I love the construction of it. I love that it's like the car comes out and moves around. I love that there's effects in there. It's a ride I've only been able to do once though, because I realized I knew I was terrified of heights, but I didn't know how much more afraid of falling I was
I
until
love
it
it,
happened.
though.
So.
It's so much fun. There's nothing else like it, Space Mountain's great, but you can go to any theme park in the world and you'll find it's essentially just a roller coaster in the dark, Like
I'll come over there and slap you right in that British face.
Well, it's when you strip away everything, you can't say that Tower of Terror is just a drop ride because it's not.
That's true.
It does a lot more, and then paired together with the theming,
Yeah.
and it's got such an easy storyline to follow as well. The Imagineering's great. They almost force it upon you when they put you into the room. It's like, here, watch the video. You don't have to pick it up in line as you're going along. It's like the whole attraction storyline starts as you get there and you walk in. So I think it's got one of the easiest storylines to follow. They put a lot of thought into it, and I think it is the theming for me because overall and above, I love roller coasters. They're more thrilling, but you can't beat the theming of Tower.
Yeah.
It's
I
awesome.
agree.
It's got sort of
Absolutely
like
awesome.
a cultural I don't want to say cultural, but it's they talked about how they're going to add that bar into it, and it like makes sense. So it's got this like that theming kind of leaks out into the rest of the. You know what I mean? It carries on beyond the attraction with you, and I think that's a great testament to that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great choice. Again, it was almost on my list. I think the other part of it is I think it's one of the attractions that Disney World has that while the other theme parks have a Tower of Terror, I think we have the best Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
Because ours, I don't know if you know, but like Disneyland's basically just goes up and down.
Yeah.
Ours like does the whole scene where it like moves forward, and it just seems like.
And our ride system is that it changes every time. There's something like different.
Randomized.
You
It's
might
random.
go up, you might go
Yeah.
down, you might do a quick drop, you might do a fast drop.
Yeah, and I take I don't know. I since I love Disney World, I take pride when we have an attraction that is the best one. I know that sounds silly.
No,
but
for
It's
sure.
funny as well because it's the oldest one, so it's like they almost had time to go back and reassess.
That's another thing I've noticed with Disney attractions is sometimes when it's the first one, it's the worst one, or it's either the worst or the best because it's either they overspent money on it, so it's like either way cooler, and then they like realize they didn't really need to spend that much money, or they like realize out the things that they missed, so they like make the next ones better. Like Space Mountain I think our Space Mountain in Disney World is the first one, but it's not as good as Disneyland's.
I know Disneyland's is so good.
Yeah, even minus Hyperspace Mountain right now.
No, I loved it. The first time I went on it was last March, and I like that you sit side by side. I'm not saying I don't like that you sit front to back in ours, but the upgrades they've added to it over the years, like the speakers behind your ear and they blare in that soundtrack and you're going through. I don't know. There's just something.
Yeah.
There's something about it. It feels very thrilling.
Yeah.
And not in a I'm going to die here thrilling, because that's how I feel on ours. I feel like at any moment this car will lose the track and I will plummet to my death.
But to bring it back to Tower of Terror, I mean, that's why I love our Tower of Terror, is because it's one of the ones where when I go to a place like Disneyland or wherever, I can come back and be like, oh, yeah, we still have the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
so
guess
should we
mine.
start? I got.
Guess
Oh,
mine. No, you go last because
I
you
forgot
started.
we got a guess.
Do you need?
Wait. Can I have a guess, or can I have a hint? Is it something that's already been said?
No.
What were your other two? Remind me again quickly.
My number 3 was Carousel of Progress. Number 2 was Haunted Mansion. And I will tell you, number 1 is not at Magic Kingdom.
Okay, so it's not a Magic Kingdom. It's not going to be any sort of thrill ride.
It involves 2 of my favorite things combined together.
Oh, it's got to be like Great Movie Ride or something then.
You're in the realm of the idea of where you've gone with your
It's
thinking.
like movie something. It's got to be. No.
But movies.
Are we in
is
the right
touching
park?
it. No. God,
Okay.
no. God, I hate that park. Sorry. Sorry. I worked there for too many years. It's like I cringe when my teeth start hurting when I get to it.
Is it an Epcot?
Nope.
So it's Animal Kingdom.
Maybe.
Oh, this is hard. It's not Expedition Everest.
I feel like it's one of those rides that nobody ever thinks about, and it's just.
Oh,
I know.
Say it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Dinosaur.
Yes.
Time travel and dinosaurs, 2 of my favorite things.
Hell,
Power Rangers, I just for me, like when I was a kid, I don't like roller coasters. I do them now, but when I was little, I just it was a lot of anxiety, a lot of stuff like that. And I've said on the Universal edition of our podcast that I really enjoyed Universal as a kid because they had a lot of rides that were like cool, thrilling, themed, but not roller coasters, like Back to the Future specifically. So when I moved down here back in 2007, that's the first time I'd ever even heard or seen anything to do with this dinosaur ride, and I thought it was the best freaking ride ever because you're in that car, but you're like moving around. Like the ride system itself is just is awesome. The vehicle movement, I love that it's like dark in there, and I love. Like I said, anything really with cool animatronics and dinosaur animatronics, like the scene where the car breaks down, and every single time I've gone on it without fail, that scene always gets me when the car starts to try and move and the Carnosaurus starts running toward the car, and it actually is moving toward the car, and people don't expect it. I just love watching people's reaction on that ride. So it's always thrilling. I always laugh, even with their constant attempts to ruin it by lightening it up, getting rid of the meteor sounds. It's just like, I still love it.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I agree. I didn't even think of that when I was.
Yeah. Well, it's off to the side. It's just not an obvious thing.
It's not one of my personal favorites, but it definitely is an attraction that. Like I
feel like it's a do not miss. For me.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially Animal Kingdom.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, let's guess Steve's.
Give us a clue.
Is it at Magic Kingdom?
Yes.
You
want a big clue?
No.
What were your other 2 again? Just remind me quickly.
Hall of Presidents.
Yep.
And
it's Space Mountain.
Splash Mountain. Oh, and Splash Mountain.
It's Space Mountain.
It's not.
It's not Space
Big
Mountain.
Thunder?
Are you sure it's not Space Mountain?
No.
It's not Pirates, is it?
No.
It's Teacups. I knew it.
No. It's been said. That was.
Oh, it was already said.
Yeah.
Was it Haunted Mansion?
People Mover.
The People Mover.
The
is my
People
favorite
Mover.
ride.
Yeah.
I love the People Mover.
You do. You talk about that. It's a must. It's every time we walk in the park with you.
I
let's
have
do the
to
People
go on
Mover.
the People Mover every single time. I love it for multiple reasons, but one, there's no line, like we already talked about. Two, I always would go on it with my girlfriend, so I have like a personal connection to it that it's just fun to ride, and
Yeah.
And I also think if you only have two people in a car, I suggested this when we rode yesterday, but when you have two people in a car, you can like put your feet up on the other bench.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
like kick back and just like relax, and like you have basically 10 minutes to yourself of just like sitting in a somewhat comfortable spot when you can put your feet up and like just chill out. Sometimes I take my phone out. I'm that like annoying person in Space Mountain that's like lighting up my face with my phone, but yeah, I love it.
I agree. I definitely. I think it is one of the. I love it for the fact that I love to be up there and you can kind of just you're moving through Fantasyland. I almost wish Fantasyland, Tomorrowland. Well, if you're out to lunch like me, I wish it. I kind of wish it extended through all the park or each land had one because
awesome.
I just love that view. And you kind of get those moments where like you pass the castle and you're like, "There's the castle," and it's in this crazy you're in that filmmaker brain. Yeah. You're like, wow, this is such a great shot. Yeah. And, and it happens when you come out of Space Mountain. I think there's a lot of like moments where you can see the realization of this park as a dream, here it is in motion.
It's almost like people love the view of the train station on Main Street. Mm-hmm. But the People Mover is almost like a moving version of that. Yeah. Where you're up high and you get those views like of all these different places. So it's like that's why I love it so much is that it's basically a moving version of the train station. Actually, to expand on this, we talked a little bit about how we take pride in things that are in Disney World and maybe aren't as good in Disneyland, especially because in many ways Disneyland has a lot of great things to it. But the People Mover, it's so heartbreaking being in Disneyland and seeing the dead People Mover that they have. Yeah. That it makes me appreciate our People Mover that much more because, I mean, they don't get to experience that. And I'm sure there's some West Coast people that have never been on the People Mover before, which is so sad.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Best times ride the People Mover when Space Mountain breaks down.
Yeah.
Get to see a really unique view of it. I absolutely love that.
Have you ever seen that?
Yeah. It happened to me actually recently for the first time.
I
was like, oh no, I don't want to see this stuff.
No, it's awesome.
Go off on a side note. I've rode Space Mountain with the lights on.
See, as a tall man, I don't want to do it because I feel like I'll never get on it again because everyone that's done it has told me they're like, yeah, you feel like you're going to...
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think the only thing that it really surprised me is how high you are. Like, I guess that's stupid because you have to go down. No. Yeah. But like when you first get up to the top of the chain, like drop or whatever, you're high up there.
Well, when I was like the last person in line one night, and this was before they redid it with like the dome over the queue. Because you used to get up to the top and it was just wide open. You were just in outer space, so you could just look up and you'd look for the chocolate chip cookie or whatever.
Yeah.
And the lights came on while I was standing there once, and you look straight up and you're like, "That's the cart." Yeah. Like up there, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this building goes so much further up than I realized."
Yeah. But anyways, back to the People Mover. Love it. My number one. What did we guess everyone's now?
Yeah.
I think so. That was it.
All right. Well, should we end it?
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Hope you liked it.
Let us know what your favorite
attractions are. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Comment below what's your favorite.